Hidden in the heart of Southeast Asia, Vietnam emerges as a country shaped by forces both wild and otherworldly. Here, the land itself is pure spectacle, a place where towering limestone islands erupt from emerald seas, where hidden caves swallow rivers and jungles whole, and where entire villages float between mist and water. This is a nation built for adventure. In the north, Halong Bay shatters the horizon with thousands of stone pillars rising from the ocean, each one wrapped in legend. Far below ground, the world's largest cave, so vast it shelters its own weather, rivers, and rainforest, waits for those bold enough to enter. Suspended above jungle canyons, glass bridges stretch across dizzying heights, testing the courage of every traveler. Before you discover Vietnam's secrets, you must first survive its wonders. Paradise here is always edged with the impossible. Extreme natural wonders step beyond the postcards, and Vietnam reveals a world sculpted by time, water, and dreams. Nature on a scale that defies belief. In the north, Ninh Binh, called Halong Bay on land, unfolds in a panorama of emerald rice fields, snaking rivers, and colossal limestone cliffs that seem to burst straight out of the earth. Traditional boats glide silently through watery caves, lanterns flickering on their bows as the sun disappears behind ancient rock. Here, the landscape is a labyrinth. One moment, open fields stretch toward the horizon. The next, you vanish into tunnels carved by centuries of river and rain. Just off the coast, Monkey Island rises from the sea, home to wild macaques that rule its shores with mischief and curiosity. Travelers come for the beaches, but stay for the spectacle. Monkeys racing across boulders, their cries echoing above turquoise waves. In Vietnam, even the wildlife is untamed, and every island holds its own secret. But the country's greatest natural marvel lies buried in darkness. In the remote jungles of Quang Binh, Son Doong Cave yawns open, a cathedral of stone so vast it shelters its own jungle, river, and mist clouds. Explorers who venture here disappear into a world where time stands still. Stalactites as old as the earth hang overhead, and the roar of underground waterfalls is swallowed by shadow. Few ever set foot inside. Those who do emerge, changed forever. If you crave the thrill of heights, Vietnam does not disappoint. Sky bridges made of glass arch dizzyingly over jungle ravines, daring even the bravest to look down. Step onto these transparent walkways, and the ground falls away, a sea of green, the sound of rushing water far below, and nothing but your courage to keep you moving forward. From limestone peaks lost in mist to the hidden underworld beneath your feet, Vietnam's natural wonders are more than just beautiful. They are otherworldly, dangerous, and utterly unforgettable. Here, the earth is alive, and adventure never waits for permission. Urban life and culture shock. Trade the wild for the wired, and you're plunged into Vietnam's cities, a fever dream of sound, color, and chaos. Hanoi greets you with a rush, the scent of strong coffee and roasting chestnuts, the clang of bicycle bells, and a symphony of a million motorbikes flowing through narrow lanes like a living river. Crosswalks exist in theory, but in practice, crossing the street is a dance with danger. Locals never break stride, and visitors learn quickly to trust in the current. Markets sprawl beneath tangled power lines, their stalls bursting with tropical fruit, hand-woven hats, and lacquered trinkets. Old women bargain over bundles of herbs, while butchers carve fresh meat beside stalls stacked high with dragon fruit and lychees. At the heart of every neighborhood, a steaming bowl of pho waits, broth simmered for hours, herbs picked at dawn, noodles tangled like the city itself. When darkness falls, the city transforms. Tiny plastic stools line the sidewalks, and laughter drifts from crowded street bars where locals and travelers share pitchers of Bia Hoy, the world's cheapest draft beer. Neon signs flicker above food carts grilling skewers of marinated pork and sticky rice cakes. Every alley hides something, lovers sharing a midnight meal, musicians with battered guitars, children chasing lanterns under a sky that never quite goes black. Ho Chi Minh City, farther south, turns up the volume. Skyscrapers rise over French colonial facades, and scooters swarm like locusts in the humid night. Markets go until dawn, temples glow with incense and candlelight, and rooftop clubs pulse with music until the first sunlight slips between glass towers. Every sense is tested. Chaos here isn't a flaw, it's a way of life. In Vietnam's cities, survival means surrendering to the flow, letting yourself be carried through crowds, swept up in celebration, and surprised by beauty at every turn. This is where old and new, sacred and profane, mingle in a pulse that never stops. Ethnic customs and taboos. Venture beyond the urban swirl, and you'll find Vietnam's most astonishing secrets tucked away in the highlands and hidden villages, where tradition isn't a museum piece, but the beating heart of daily life. In the mountain provinces, entire societies are built around women's strength and agency. Here, inheritance flows through daughters, and mothers rule over family affairs. Marriage is not a father's bargain. It is a moment for women to choose, to act, to claim the next chapter of their lineage. A girl's proposal is a rite of passage, marked by laughter, feasting, and sometimes a daring declaration before both families. Every year, matchmaking festivals burst into life. Villagers gather from miles around, dressed in vibrant embroidery and silver jewelry that flashes beneath the sun. Young men and women lock eyes during circle dances, their intentions clear, the flirtation bold. What might begin as a ritual often ends with true romance, sometimes in hours, sometimes over years. Among the Hmong and Muong peoples, the custom known as bride kidnapping is both ancient and misunderstood. Far from an act of violence, it is a spirited tradition where a couple, mutually in love, vanishes together, their absence a signal to both families. Consent is paramount, and the homecoming is celebrated with music, rice wine, and gifts. Outsiders may struggle to grasp the nuance, but for these communities, it's a joyful rebellion against formality. Elsewhere, free love festivals rewrite all the rules. In the remote Northwest, the love market of Sapa is a night for secret rendezvous. Young lovers slip away to sing, whisper, and choose partners away from parental scrutiny. For a few precious hours, tradition loosens its grip, and desire writes its own story. These customs are alive, shaped by generations, evolving with each new couple, and pulsing with a sensuality that is never crass, but always honest. In the highlands of Vietnam, love and freedom dance together, and the world's expectations dissolve into mist. History and myth, Vietnam's landscapes are carved as much by legend as by time. Ancient stories say this nation was born from a union between a dragon king and a mountain goddess, their love giving rise to the Vietnamese people and their fierce bond with the land. Myths seep into every stone. Islands said to be the petrified backs of dragons, rivers named for warriors and lost loves. Over centuries, Vietnam has survived waves of invaders. Chinese dynasties, Mongol armies, French colonizers. Yet each era left its mark without breaking the country's spirit. Cities like Hanoi and Hue grew from royal courts and rebel strongholds, where emperors ruled and poets schemed in the shadow of ancient pagodas. History here is not just recorded, it is lived. Temple drums echo old victories. Festival fires burn to honor ancestors. The past is everywhere, woven through daily life and whispered in every market and misty field. In Vietnam, every legend is a memory, and every memory shapes the present. War legacy Vietnam's beauty hides scars that run deep. For decades, the country was a battlefield, first under foreign rule, then torn apart by civil war. The land remembers craters in the fields, tunnels beneath villages, old soldiers drinking tea with ghosts no one else can see. Yet out of devastation, resilience grew. The stories of survival are everywhere. Families who hid for years underground, children who learned to read by candlelight during air raids, entire towns rebuilt from ruins. Surprisingly, the wounds of war did not harden Vietnamese hearts against outsiders. Today, visitors find hospitality where they expect suspicion, and laughter where sorrow once ruled. The nation's greatest strength is its ability to move forward without forgetting the past. Here, every smile is a quiet triumph, every welcome a reminder that even in a land shaped by conflict, hope never died. Imperial City and modern marvels, Vietnam's past and future collide in the most unexpected places. In the ancient city of Hue, stone citadels and royal palaces rise from the banks of the Perfume River, remnants of emperors and dynasties long gone. Their glory faded, but never lost. Gardens and temples whisper secrets of intrigue and power, preserved in shadow and silence. But this is also a country racing toward tomorrow. Across ravines and mountaintops, gravity-defying bridges gleam, like the golden Hands Bridge, lifted by giant stone palms, or the Dragon Bridge, which breathes fire into the night sky. Modern towers rise above centuries-old pagodas, neon flashing beside sacred incense smoke. Everywhere, old and new exist side by side. Ancient walls echo with the sound of scooters. Tradition meets innovation at every turn, turning Vietnam's cities and landscapes into living works of art. This is a place where history is not forgotten, but transformed, where yesterday and tomorrow walk the same streets. Spirituality and festivals. Vietnam's spirit comes alive in its festivals and rituals, where night glows with magic and tradition weaves every gathering. Nowhere is this clearer than in Hoi An, a town transformed each month by the Lantern Festival. As darkness falls, thousands of paper lanterns light the ancient streets and float on river currents, casting wishes and secrets out into the night. The air fills with music, prayers, and the scent of incense, blending joy with longing. Across the country, festivals celebrate love, harvest, and ancestors. Villagers parade in vibrant costumes, drums and gongs thunder through the hills, and old stories are retold in the flicker of candlelight. Even in crowded cities, shrines bloom with offerings, fruit, flowers, cups of tea for wandering spirits. Spirituality in Vietnam is everywhere, but never the same twice. Each celebration is an invitation to believe, to belong, to lose yourself in a night where anything seems possible. Gender and romance customs in Vietnam. Romance is a language all its own, a mix of rule-breaking ritual and quiet rebellion, written in the glances and gestures of its women. Step into a highland village at dawn and you'll see it. Women moving with confidence through the mist, their faces framed by cascades of black hair and the intricate embroidery of their tribe. They laugh openly, trade secrets over woven baskets, and carry the pride of generations in their stride. Here, the future of every family rests with the daughters not the sun's. The rituals of love are bolder still. When a young woman chooses her partner, the proposal is both public and electric, an invitation that turns tradition on its head. In some tribes, the girl's declaration is marked by a song, a dance, or the gentle placing of a gift in her chosen's hand. For him, the answer is not just yes or no, but a promise to join her family, serve her elders, and make her village his own. Love markets become arenas of flirtation, where beauty is celebrated and desire is worn as boldly as a new dress. Every detail, the cut of a blouse, the shimmer of dyed cloth, the flash of a bracelet, becomes a message, inviting or daring, as much a part of the courtship as any word. Elsewhere, in the darkness of the love market night, rules melt away. Couples disappear into the shadows, exploring freedom in a culture that, for just one evening, lets instinct and chemistry take the lead. Elders pretend not to see, but everyone knows. This night is for the young, for testing boundaries, for deciding what tomorrow will bring. Even in the cities, this quiet revolution endures. Modern Vietnamese women, poised, expressive, independent, navigate love with a blend of tradition and fierce self-assurance. They stroll the neon boulevards in flowing dresses or sharp suits, meet friends at midnight cafes, and wield the same confidence as their ancestors. The energy is unmistakable. Flirtation is an art, seduction is subtle, and romance is both a pursuit and a celebration. Vietnam is a country where the line between dream and reality is always blurred, where wild beauty, deep scars, and hidden rituals shape every moment. From emerald bays and secret caves to lantern-lit nights and villages ruled by women, this land is full of stories the world barely understands. Every legend, every festival, every whispered promise on a crowded street reveals a secret only Vietnam could keep. What shocked you the most? What would you dare to try? Let us know in the comments. This is Exotic Worlds. The journey doesn't end here.